I don't have the answers, but I have a question. What if I was wrong? Man, what if I was wrong?
I just killed Cassie. Fuck. That felt like fucking real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up, we gotta get our act straight.
I don't get it, but that's what they do. I'm sitting out there with Charlie and Megan. They're talking about Megan trying to move out. Charlie starts complaining that she doesn't know how she's gonna pay the rent and she doesn't know what she's gonna do. She starts asking me, "Well, Mike, where are you living?" And I was not anywhere, I'm just bouncing around from place to place, I just live everywhere but nowhere, Not homeless, it's just, never find me anywhere for too long.
I want to be careful again not to paint anybody overly with too much suspicion that they don't deserve. I don't want to be overly suspicious here toward anyone. So I don't have a male or a female. If I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm not going to be honest with you. Ha, there you go. But I don't have a male or a female, but I have a theory. Oh man, this is crazy. And this is why I always keep an open mind. And this is why I always have said the evidence and everything points to the roommates. But even with that, I've been very clear that I just think, according to everything in the press and everything that we know are that the facts that we know, it just points to the roommates for me. Until now, the facts that we know, it just points to the roommates for me. Until now. I don't have the answers, but I have a question. What if I was wrong? Man, what if I was wrong? Something occurred to me, man. I want to go slow here. I'm gonna just do this, and we're gonna see how this goes. Something occurred to me, and I'll tell you what it was, and then I'm gonna try to rewind and introduce you to a little more about me. It is not out of the realm of possibility that this was a very planned and designed killing. So some of the premises of my new theory fit perfectly with everything I've been supposing. And then because this is forming in my mind now, so you're going to see how my mind works in real time. Not that I'm treating you to anything, but you're going to see really how I think through things. I'm not supposing that should mean anything to you. Please don't think I'm being arrogant here. But something occurred to me. We've heard of these things before, and I want to be careful again not to paint anybody overly with too much suspicion that they don't deserve. I don't want to be overly suspicious here toward anyone. So I don't have a male or a female. If I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm not going to be honest with you. Ha, there you go. But I don't have a male or a female, but I have a theory. Oh man, this is crazy. And this is why I always keep an open mind. And this is why I always have said the evidence and everything points to the roommates. And what you guys do is this right here. Like I said in my previous video, you find someone you want to be guilty that fits the description, usually a man, and then you just begin to point to everything that fits what you want to believe. I don't do that. I look at the facts. I said it on Twitter. I look at the facts, and in this case, I've chosen to stick to official press releases. I know such and such is saying things, the vape shop owner, the neighbor, the other neighbor, the dude down the road to cut the grass, the mom, the dad. And I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, especially the victim's family, but everybody's talking. So in this case, I've just chosen personally to stick to official press releases. That is not to say that I believe everything law enforcement or law enforcement agencies say. That's just the path that I've chosen in this case. But even with that, I've been very clear that I just think, according to everything in the press and everything that we know are the facts that we know, it just points to the roommates for me. Until now. Jeez. I'm gonna say that I'm adding this theory and I'm not eliminating the roommates. But don't be surprised if you hear me start to say this theory makes even more sense than the roommates to me. It was a planned killing, guys. It was a ritual killing, some sort of thrill killing. It was 2 or more people. I'm gonna say that they definitely had attended that party house. You know, that party. We hear report with, not even just reports. We have videos. I've used them as backdrops in my coverage of the story of them partying in the house. Listen, man, that's something I covered and I didn't drop that video. So I want to say this: no affront to those who've been lost their lives in this case or their loved ones. We can't pretend because people die, even if they die in horrific ways, we can't just pretend that they just weren't human anymore. Like, these kids definitely probably had alcohol. It surprised me to find out one of the detectives, he was so, I had to add this dude on Twitter. He was so unbiased and objective in his coverage. He said, man, we got to remember these kids probably, had 1 or 2 of them may have dabbled in drugs. So we're not trying to say they're evil, but we got to stick with the fact and remember they're college kids. So with that in mind, these multiple people, 2 or more people, had either been to this house several times, had been, heard about going to the house several times, had gotten the information from someone. You may even have a flunky here, a flunky who goes there, but he's giving the details, or she's giving, look at me being a misandrist, she's giving the details to whoever, and then they're planning this quadruple murder. It's unfolding. I'm telling y'all, I'm thinking through this while I'm making this video. I'm going to do my best to make sure it isn't even long, because I haven't even had enough time to think through it. You're going to hear me fumbling. So they plan this murder. So do they have a flunky going to the parties, the house parties, to get the layout, to tell them the code, to tell them, hey, there's a dog there. We're going to have to do this with the dog. There are 2 other rooms. In this case, guys, this is not an unknown suspect for me. This is not a random killing. This is not a serial killer. This is not the roommates. I'm going to tell you how the 2 roommates get away in this one right here. I'm going to tell you how I think. I don't know. I'm thinking through it. I think because it wasn't random, they always knew there was 6 people in the house. The roommates, very possibly, the surviving 2 roommates, very possibly. This is why I said I would apologize to them, because I told y'all the story. I gotta find a story so I can show it to y'all, where the guy was accused of murder and everybody was accusing him of it. I think in that case, it was a lady that was killed too. And long story short, someone else had killed both of them and killed the guy second that everybody thought did it and hid his body. So, when they found out what happened, the accused was actually the victim the whole time too. So I don't want to and I've been very careful to say this, but because I care about people. So let me rewind. I'm going to get back to my scenario, but I said I'm going to tell y'all more about me. So, let's just say everything I'm going to say here is just make believe, and it's just me thinking high of myself. Let's just say that so I can get all the preliminaries out of the way. I'm just thinking way too much of myself. Let's just get that out of the way. My heart beats for people, man. I really, really care about people. I've experienced enough life to know that pain and hurt and everything comes from so many different angles that it's easy to forget about the joys of life. It's easy to forget that people are wonderful, that, we can have wonderful interactions with strangers in the grocery store, or we can have wonderful interactions with strangers at our kids, sports games, or wherever you may be. You have wonderful relationships at your work that aren't illicit at your job, with your work. People are in life in general. Sometimes you just see things that are beautiful and you have to stop to whatever, man. Life is life. Humans are humans, being good and bad, and sometimes we forget that. I think one very important, just as important as any other demographic that we've forgotten to look at as humans, are men. I want to say this without being long-winded, because I'm not sure I want to fully unpack it here, but we all have to be okay. Humanity, we all have to be. That is the best state for all of us, that we all are okay. Because if any of us are vulnerable, if any of us are hurting, then all of us are open to vulnerability. Let me say that. Let me say that maybe in a way that unpacks it more. I want to apologize in advance for this horrible analogy about to come. I'm usually much better with my analogies, but I think if you listen, you'll get what I'm trying to say, the message I'm trying to communicate. And once again, I apologize in advance. If the jungle is full of lions and all the lions are full, best case scenario in a perfect world, they're not looking to take anything from the other lions. You know what I mean? How do they run in packs? They're not looking to take, and one pack is not looking, or one lion from this pack is not looking to go over here and take something from this pack, whether they have to just steal it or hurt one of the other lions to do it. And like, everybody is good, so nobody has to worry about anything, right? But once one of those lions don't get to eat, and maybe their cubs don't get to eat, now we got problems. And we're hoping this is an upstanding lion, and you're gonna go to the other lion and say, can I hunt with you or something, help you so I can earn some food for me and my cubs? But like, how long is he gonna ask you that? And are you even gonna share with him or whatnot? Because it's like, nah, I found mine, so you need to go. I mean, it's just, that's how you get into that mix of, man, F you, man, I'm gonna make sure me and mine okay. And okay, cool, if you gotta make sure you and yours okay, then I gotta make sure me and mine okay. And if that means I have to take from you and yours, we got a world full of problems. Stop what you're doing right now. Just look around you. Hopefully you live in a safe neighborhood if you don't. But look at the news if you do. We have a world full of problems. I know I said a lot. If you have to rewind that, just go back. My whole point was we're better off when we're all okay. Now, from childhood, little boys are taught it's your job to protect. It's your job if a woman offends you, if a woman spits on you, never hit a woman. There's never a reason for a man to hit a woman. We're taught all of these things. We're taught to see women, and then when you grow up as a man, you're not a child anymore. You're taught to see women and children in a certain light. But some of us, we start to realize nobody's teaching these people and even other men to see us in their light. Nobody's really telling the world that, hey, sometimes men need a safe place to be vulnerable. Sometimes men need a safe place to be loved. Sometimes men need to be protected from things like false allegations. I'm saying too much. Let me get back to it. So I was always in true crime, and what I would always see, I'm in this. I mean, all of your platforms, I can call them out right now. My favorite one is Trace Evidence, and I promise you, I just left some comments on his video I'm watching right now. The disappearance of Brandy. I can't remember her name. What I would always see from platform to platform is there would always be an element of misandry there. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm watching Trace Evidence today, and he's describing how the young lady that went missing, and I'm praying that she's still alive and not dead. I love it when the stories are just missing and not murder, because these human beings are still with us, hopefully. But he's describing how she was born and she had these wonderful parents, and then he just begins to talk. It goes from wonderful parents to like the only parent she ever had was a mom, like her dad didn't exist. 2 seconds ago, you were telling us she was born to wonderful parents. For the rest of the video, you talk like she only had one parent, or you think her mom was 2 parents. I don't know. And then on top of that, you begin to tell us how she was raised by her other family members, and her mom still had a good relationship because her mom was here when she could, but her mom was this great mom. And I'm like, it's kind of not adding up, but I'm listening because I don't want to be too judgmental, right? And then you begin to tell us she had a hard breakup because she decided to leave her fiance of 6 years and run off with another man. You didn't use the word run off. You used much more gentle and gracious words. I just can't remember what you said, so I said run off. And then you talk about how when she was with that man, she had a hard time because the guy he was working. I'm not making any of this up. I will put the link to the video in the description. This is what I love this guy. I listen to his content all the time, but this is how he's telling the story. He's a great storyteller. She ran off from a 6-year fiance to be with another man. The man she's with working for another man. This man has problem in his marriage. So I can't remember if they were engaged or married at the time. Her fiance or husband or boyfriend tells his boss, hey, you having problems, man, you can come and live with us. In the interim, she starts cheating with this man. But the whole time he's describing it, Trace Evidence, once again, great podcast. I love it. I suggest you go check it out. Subscribe if you haven't. He's telling us she's a victim. She's having a hard... You're running from man to man. You're cheating on a man. And then the man she was cheating on, he kicked the guy out of his house but begged her to stay. She still ended up running off with him anyway. And then he cheated on her. And then you got to listen to the podcast. My point being this right here. This is the simple comment I made because I'm not even through listening to the podcast. But he does this every time. Everybody does. I just simply said, I hope you go way out of your way to be gracious when you speak of people who at best have made some questionable decisions. Now, once again, I want to tell you, this lady went missing, I think, from North Charleston, South Carolina. Don't quote me on the place. She went missing. Nobody deserves to be kidnapped. Nobody deserves to be murdered. Nobody deserves, but we're supposed to like be wise in how we live our lives, right? We're supposed to like just not be running off with man after man or woman after woman or criminal after criminal. And even if you choose to do those, like it's hard for me to say even if you choose to do those things, you shouldn't be, et cetera, even though you shouldn't be. But at what point are we able to say to you, hey, you might need to slow down here? And basically, I just told Mr. Trace Evidence this, brother. As far as you're going out of your way to be gracious to these women, and I'm going to say it plainly, man, they're living wild lives and making crazy decisions. You're not a victim if you choose to leave your fiance of 6 years to run off with another guy. You're not a victim if your current partner, whether he's your boyfriend, spouse, whatever, who loves you to death, he tells the story. And trust me, I'm going to tell you what I told him so you'll understand what I'm saying here. There's no reports that any of these men are doing anything wrong to you. And Mr. Trace Evidence would say it if there was. But you running off on all these men and cheating on them and you're a victim. No, that's not how it works. But that's how Mr. Trace Evidence tells the story. So I just simply, commented and told him that I hope you will be as gracious and liberal with your grace when you're speaking about these men who you're about to help paint a cloud of suspicion over. Because he's already told me that I've already told y'all. I mean, y'all probably already thinking it. She has several men. One of them got to be involved, right? And of course, it's possible that one of the men are involved. To this day, the case is unsolved. But I just want you guys, when you're thinking about this woman who's running off on these men, cheating and doing all this other stuff that I haven't even detailed that he does, when you remember to think of her in gracious terms, when you remember to think of these women who beat their children or beat their husbands or cheat on their men, whatever they do, when you remember to think of them in gracious terms, that maybe she went through something, maybe she's suffering postpartum depression, maybe she suffered something when she was little, some type of abuse. When you remember that, can we remember to do that with men too? Can we just remember that men are human too, that we experience tragedy, that we have triggers, that things cause us to respond as well, and sometimes in horrible ways, like women? Can you remember that? Can we not always be a monster? I mean, because I just want some consistency. And I'm going to leave it there because I have so much to say on the topic, but I'm trying to segue into, okay, cool. I've been a true crime fan for a long time. I've said this in my videos, but I'm always just typing these things in comment sections because I have other platforms where I do the, other things in. And I said it's time. I feel like it's time for me to go ahead and create. So, a la innocent until. Let's get back to this new theory. They planned this, man, the whole time. For how long? I don't know. I want to say I'm almost certain I'm going to follow my theory that it's not like something. They didn't plan this just for a short period of time. This is something that they had the idea. One of them probably brought it up. Throw it in the air or something to see if it's serious or not. How the other people feel about it. Or they had already been wanting to do something like this, and then the opportunity came when they got the party house. Hey, man, maybe we can do it here. I'm going to speed through this so the video doesn't be too long. They plan it. Whether they sending the flunky in there and the flunky's coming back because he wants to be cool with the gang and he's not knowing how far it's going to go, or maybe he's like, and in this case, I go with the he again. I'm a Misandrous guy. They ain't tighten up. The flunky's not knowing how far they're going to go. And he just want to be cool. She just want to be cool. And if that's the case, trust me, when this case breaks wide open, we're going to have some snitches. Trust me, we're going to have some cooperating witnesses. So either they have the flunky or they are the people going to, they are literally, and this is so scary to think of, they're at some of the parties. They're hanging out with these. They very well may be in the videos we've seen of the damn parties, guys. This has happened before when the killer was right there. So yes, they did stake the house out, but these are not strangers. These are other college students. I'm telling you, are people that hang out with the college students they're in that crowd. Damn it, I'ma say it. I'm gonna say it. It was them. It wasn't the roommates, guys. It was them. I'm not sure, but I'm damn sure, almost positive it was them. They planned this. The surviving roommates only survived because they probably thought, hey, man, we were going here to do all of them. Or maybe those two weren't supposed. I haven't heard any reports that they weren't supposed to be there. They're going to kill everybody. And I guess maybe something happened to scare them, to spook them, or they got there and it was too much after 4 and whatever and so they just left. The other 2 roommates were supposed to die too, in this theory. They were supposed to die. Maybe they couldn't get in their rooms. Maybe the route to get to the other 2 roommates, or something just happened where the other 2 roommates, by God's grace, did not suffer the fate that was planned for them that night as well. They were not supposed to make it out alive, guys. My problem with this theory, though, even while I'm telling you this, and I told y'all you're gonna hear me think through it. Even with this theory, man, I have to say maybe the roommates are involved. Because it's hard for me to get past the story, and maybe I just have to go back and investigate it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back and investigate it. I wanted to get this content out. I'm being News Nation now. I'm gonna have to go back and investigate what we know about that initial day. Did they really find the body and say that they thought it was passed out? I'm gonna tell you this. If the roommates really found the body, or if the friends that they called over really found the body, if the roommates saw the body before anybody got there, if anybody saw that body and said that they thought it was passed out, the roommates are the flunky. They are the 2. They were part of the killing ritual. They were part of the thrill killing. I cannot separate their involvement from that reporting of the story. If that reporting of the story doesn't change, my new theory is that the roommates are involved, and that it was a thrill killing, it was a ritual killing, it was a gang killing. They let the people in, however that goes. But so now what happens when they get in the house? If the roommates let them in, remember they still have to be subdued, right? They still have to be subdued. But we got to keep in mind, rest in peace. I hate to even I'm telling you, these things are hurtful to even think about. You got to keep in mind situations like 9/11 where they let the people take over the plane. And we have learned since then, we've had several situations like that where people were like, no, they take the gunman down, they take the gunwoman down, they take the killer down. So now we know better, but it could have been one of those situations where they held them at gunpoint and then they killed one. Because you got 2 sets of 2. Let's just simplify that. So we're going for 2 first, right? We got 2 or more killers, but we're going in one room first. It got 2 people in it. We're going to subdue them. And by subdue, I mean, maybe they had ropes on them in the police. That would be like one of those details. Some of those details that police ain't going to tell us because they want to like only the killer know. So maybe they tied them up and, law enforcement hasn't told us that, because they want to connect that to information on the killer would have. But so they either tied him up, held him at gunpoint or whatever, may have told him, we're not going to hurt you. Any of these things can happen. Now, like the other 4 in the room sleep. I'm going to tell you why this makes no sense, but I'm still going to explore it. You got 6 people. We're in one room, 2 people. We're tying them up, hold a gun on them, tell them we're not going to kill them, and then we kill. If it's 2 people, we kill one, and we kill the other. We tell the one person, hey, we're not going to kill you, then we kill. Any of those, it's a million scenarios after that. But the other one is multiple. And this one doesn't work either, because why would they just not bring enough? Maybe they didn't have enough people to go to all 3 rooms. But in this one, it's multiple, so they go to the 2 rooms first. Maybe they only had planned those 2. I told you, you're going to hear me fumble through it. In the multiple scenario, they go to the 2 rooms. They subdue them. They do whatever. They kill them. I think one of them did realize, hey, man, they lied to us when they said they weren't going to kill us. Maybe they start fighting back, but it's too late because they're tied up. They already had been wounded. I don't know. So there you go. That's what I got, guys. I got multiple people. I have thrill killing. I have, what was the other one I said? Thrill killing. And whatever the other one I said was ritual killing. I have multiple suspects. I have them either going to one room first with 2 people in it, killing them, and then going to the other one. And this is the best one, because in this scenario, guys, they were going to kill everybody. And I could say it was enough people to go to 2 rooms at a time. It just doesn't add up as much as there are just multiple people. They go to one room by one, kill these people, go to the other room, upstairs, downstairs, kill those people, and then they're going to kill the other 2, and then something deters them. This is my new theory, guys. I'm not gonna throw my other theory out because things are always going to change and make you think of new things, and I don't want to be too quick on the draw, but this is my new theory. I'm gonna conclude it with this. Not editing any of the fumbles out. You literally got it live. This is how I was feeling. Two final scenarios. Roommates are totally uninvolved. Ritual killing, thrill killing, planned, plotted. People had a flunky in the house giving them the information to lay out. I got to know about the dog. I got to know about the locks. I got to know about how to get past the inner and interior doors. I got to know instairs, upstairs, downstairs, etc., etc. Who in what room. Got to know all of that. So we get in there. We already know about the dog, so we got some treats. We got whatever, maybe, I don't know. We got whatever. We got the dog. The dog good. The dog friendly. It's a party house. The dog know everybody. He probably knows us. Remember, we been there. He know the flunky. He been there. We go in, kill one set. Probably told him we wasn't gonna kill him. I don't think they were drugged in this scenario. Probably told they wasn't gonna kill him. Gun, knife, ropes, whatever. Tie them up, kill them. I'm not trying to be insensitive here. I remember what happened. I'm not trying to be insensitive. I know this sound need to slow down because no matter what, it sounds that way even to my own ears. So then we go to the next room and we do the same thing. We're about to go to the other room and something deters us. That's the first one. The second one, the roommates are involved in a ritual thrill killing. The surviving roommates. They let them in. They put the dog up. The people go do the murders and they leave. White car. I would say white car is evidence get rid of her, or white car is the college students that are involved. And the people that I'm talking about, the mystery people, they are either other college students or people who hang in that crowd. Sorry to leave y'all on this note. I don't want to just keep, because my mind is turning and I'm just going to ramble now. I don't have the answers. But damn it, I got a question. What if I was wrong? Innocent until.
Sure, but in the background, the mother had heard, Cassie say, like, no, I promised that I would house sit, and so I've got to stay here and, take care of my commitment.
About 11:15 p.m., Matt's parents arrived. He kissed his girlfriend goodnight, then got in the car. And that, said Matt, was the last time he saw Cassie Jo. If she had not been quite so responsible to stay and look after the house.
Isn't that the irony of it?
Mike's at the bag picking teeth from his skull, like playing with his tongue. He's all sick and everything.
15-year-old Seth Jackson was a typical teen boy, living in Summerfield, Florida with his parents Scott and Sonia Jackson, and his two older brothers. He loved animals and had aspirations to join the Ultimate Fighting Championships. His parents had...
I want my mom.